All right, giddy up.
Hey, we're live.
We
live.
are.
To our viewers.
Yeah, you guys are starting to get some views there. You got a couple new subscribers and all that.
Do we?
I think so. You guys
Good.
Because you're up to like 15 or so, which isn't much, but still it's a start.
Oh, I
Kelly?
mean accounts for my dogs and follow us.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it is. I knew it. I knew it. Uh-oh. You froze. Well, that's a good way to start going live. Until they come back, I'll start the show. My name is Greg Andriano. Welcome to Yankee Chatter Live. This is episode number 26. And if you're joining us for the first time, this is the third time we've gone live. And do I have the guys back with me?
Yeah, we're here, brother.
Okay, there they are. We're back. I was just introducing ourselves. Yankee Chatter, Greg Andriano at GregAndriano05 on Twitter. These are my brothers up north, Brad and Big Tuna. You guys want to share your handles?
Yeah, this is Brad and Big Tuna. I'm Brad or Chatter 1 on Twitter.
And I am Big Tuna BBS, and we are part of the Bigger and Bradder Sports Network. But if you're on this channel, you know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them know who we are.
I hope so.
We are very lucky as Yankee Chatter to have the Bigger and Bradder Sports Show take us on and share some of their live and hopefully get some followers and build up some conversations and some good sports talk here. So
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Nope. Baby steps.
Especially because we all have real jobs, not like some people who just sit in their mother's house in the basement and get famous.
Okay.
I'm looking at you, degenerates.
If it were just that easy.
I found you can buy followers too.
You can, yeah.
You can.
Which is just, I get it, but I don't. It's like I looked at it's like $400 and some odd dollars to get like 2,000 subscribers, and it's like.
But who are the subscribers?
That's
are they just random people?
I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I know you can boost posts and boost things on like Twitter and but I don't know if that works. I've never tried it. We're trying to do everything on the level here. We're not the Houston Astros, setting up cameras in center field.
Good segue.
I gotta lie. I might buy some followers.
Yeah, that's it.
If it were that easy, if that could guarantee winning every time.
I'll come clean in a minute, though. That's the difference.
Oh, yep, we're going there. That's right. No holds barred. As I'm sure most of you people know, as of today, the Houston Astros had a press conference this morning where the owner, Jim Crane, and only two members of the Astros team and new manager, Dusty Baker, addressed the media, said they were sorry, and talked about, I guess, the whole scandal itself. Brad, you actually got to watch it.
I listened to it.
You listened to it?
I listened on the radio. I did not watch it.
I watched it not live. I watched it like a couple hours ago.
I saw some clips throughout the day. Desk job, luxury. What I was going to say, what are your first takes from this? Because there have been I
don't understand what was the point of having Dusty Baker sit there and just take this.
I don't know. I mean, he has nothing to do with it. No, he was not there. And Tino and I were talking about this before we went live, and it's mind-boggling that only two players were there.
And they clearly had a very short scripted response.
Very scripted.
They had the meeting last night, like an hour-long meeting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was the players, the upper-level staff, managers, and then I'm pretty sure they probably had lawyers there saying,
Dusty Baker,
don't say this, because there are already lawsuits going against him too.
And Dusty Baker did say that he was not up front; he was just sitting in the back, just listening. Mm-hmm. So it's like, then why bring him out? Why not bring out the people who did it, not the people?
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And some of the things that Jim Crane was saying during the interview just like didn't make sense either. It was like, what was the whole point of this? You really didn't accomplish anything. And I was going to try and play part of his interview. So if you guys want to talk while I find it and bring it up, maybe you can hear it through the microphone.
The thing too is that like it just seemed like the Tiger Woods thing. Remember that one he had where he was just like admitting to everything? It's like, dude, we know what you did.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like a worthless. But that's you can blame it on the Astros, but you can blame it on the media too, because they were not going to be satisfied, and they're still not satisfied, but they would not be satisfied until they spoke out about it.
Now, do you think this is how they actually want to act, or do you think this is the lawyer saying don't?
We won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that.
You hear this?
Jim, when talking about the Yankees there, did you say you feel like this didn't impact the game? And what do you mean by that?
I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Our opinion is, that this didn't impact the game. I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Our opinion is.
Yeah. So within mere seconds, less than a minute, he literally says, "We won the World Series. In our opinion, it did not impact the game. We'll leave it at that." Yeah. You can't say those three things and just leave it at that. Yeah. You're a freaking moron if you think that that's acceptable.
It was the I'll give hats off to the guys who were asking questions because they got as deep as they could.
Marley Rivera from ESPN grilled him. I'm going to play this.
They all did.
You guys apologize.
Here.
Sign stealing is a distinct advantage for the hitter. So how is it that it doesn't affect competition? So then what are you guys apologizing for?
We're apologizing because we broke the rules.
Yeah.
But isn't sign stealing a distinct advantage for the hitter? So doesn't it automatically impact competition?
Okay. Well, what was the last thing you heard? Because, you froze again. Okay. Well, anyways, so Marley Rivera grilled Jim Crane saying, what was the point of apologizing? And really, what was the point of apologizing? All right. So what was the last thing you heard now that you're back?
They're apologizing because they broke the rules.
And that was
it. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. And then she said, well, then why are you here? Why are you apologizing? And really, she's right. Why are you calling and making this whole big spectacle if you're not willing to say that it had an effect on the outcome of the game? It helped you win a World Series. What are you doing here?
Well, do you think that the lawyers told them not to say much more because of the lawsuits that are going on?
Probably. I was thinking that myself. That whole meeting that they had last night was probably saying, like I think you alluded to it earlier, is that make sure you don't say what you did. Don't say we banged a trash can. Don't say we used a buzzer. Don't say anything. Just say, refer to the report and say that you're sorry. And say that we did what we did and we feel bad about it. And that's literally, if you watch all the interviews, that's pretty much what they all said, except for a couple players afterwards.
In court, they don't want their statements being used against them. I think this is
exactly
nothing to do with courtroom things and anything else. But at the same time, I think it says something about the organization where they just don't want to admit to anything. And that's just it's not right. It's garbage.
I also think one of the most outrageous statements by him was that they caught it in like mid-2018. So they're saying like it's been a year and a half since they've done it. And it's like, dude, bullshit.
I don't,
last year.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like,
I don't buy it.
He said we heard about it, we caught, and it's like, dude, if you found out about it, that's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you not go? Because he didn't fire Cora. Cora moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beltran was retired by then. So
he retired. Yeah.
So then who was doing it? If they're still, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how, who was doing it now? Beltran and Cora they've gotten suspended. So if it stopped in the middle of 2018 and there's evidence of it in 2019, who did it?
Yeah, the players.
Well,
are still doing it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is they say in the report that the system that they were using, the trash can system, they stopped that in particular. And I was listening to John Boy because every podcast they do, they kind of talk about it in some
you
bit.
got the big baseball thing. It's got to,
And he says that they say we stopped that particular thing, but it doesn't mean that they didn't stop cheating. They never say we stopped doing. So we went to another system and used that instead. But it doesn't say that they didn't either. So who knows what they're doing? And you got to figure someone out there developed something. I mean, they talk about the buzzers, and now was it Springer or Correa that were the first person to adamantly say we did not use a buzzer last year.
Oh, it was the owner. It was Stringer for sure.
No, Springer the player.
Oh, I thought it was the owner that said the buzzer thing.
I think he dodged it.
Well,
someone asked him.
He deflected to the report again, I think.
That's the weird thing is that they were saying people were saying if the Astros really didn't use the buzzer, why are they not like getting mad about it? Why are they not screaming at it? They said that's the thing you can always tell with steroids because people that were accused never and actually did do it and never really got mad that they're being accused. You know what I mean?
Except for Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah, well, he had good Congress.
So I don't know if you guys have seen on Twitter, but I know Brad, you watched The Office. Tino, did you ever watch The Office?
Oh yeah.
There's the one episode where Dwight does something completely wrong, but he doesn't feel bad about it. So he walks into the office one day and he pulls out the letter. He goes, I don't. Well, I can still hear you guys. But I lost you. Well, Dwight says an apology, but it's like he pulls out this letter and it says like two things, and then Jim goes, "You had to memorize that. You couldn't memorize that." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "No, I needed to write it down because I don't feel bad about it," or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's what's great. That's a completely different podcast. That show is awesome. But it just pretty much summed up the whole thing about today. Is they apologized. They said the words that they needed to say, supposedly, but to me it didn't have any feeling behind it. It didn't feel genuine. They don't care. They got their ring. They're not going to take their ring away. So really, what's the point?
About the next championship.
Yeah.
Saying we're going to win another championship.
Yeah.
I believe when he said that, I was like, dude, really? Like,
yeah, and this is what he did the other day too at FanFest. He said, "Yeah, we're moving forward. Like they're the victims here. Like, yeah, we're getting all these accusations that we're cheating. So we're just going to try and get through it as a team and move forward." It's like, you're an idiot.
Altuve will probably be the most hit batsman this year. By far.
They might. So the Astros might set records for suspensions because I think they're going to get thrown out a lot. They're going to get pissed off and start throwing back.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of suspensions throughout
But the
year.
problem is the umps are going to say, okay, so it's 50-50, Astros, and let's Astros.
Bregman and Altuve will be hit the most, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but what I'm saying is that the umps are not going to give them any chances. No time.
And Reddick.
It's.
They kick off this baseball season. I think it's a Thursday night game. They kick off season. It's Astros Angels, I believe.
I think you're right.
That'd be pretty
Altuve, the first time he's up, they're going to hit him. I really think so. But I also think that a lot of people would say the umps would throw him out. It's like, no, they're not. They're not going to throw him out.
I don't think anybody feels bad for them. No. Outside of Astros fans and the players on the Astros, nobody feels bad for them.
Astro fans are probably a little bit like, dude, we look like shit right now.
The only
you would think that.
Yeah. The only Astro fans I feel bad for are like those lifelong Astro fans that finally get a championship. They probably they bought merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there that got tattoos that say World Series champions. Those are the fans I feel bad for.
Yeah, because
we have to live with this.
Me and Greg were saying that too. This was their first one, and it's like their first one might be their only one for a while, and it's tainted.
Yeah,
it's just
it's tinted now. Now, Greg, what do you think the Hall of Fame voters are gonna? What do you think they're gonna do 20 years from now if Astro players are up for the Hall of Fame? Do you think they're gonna look at them differently or no?
I don't think so. I don't think they will.
The rest of the career, honestly. But.
Yeah, if Altuve, Bregman, and some of the other guys that were on that team, and their numbers completely fall off after this year, then I'll say, yeah, they probably won't get in. But if for some reason they continue the trend that they're on and are very productive players, then I don't think they'll think twice about it. But this season is huge because it'll for these players, because if they come through and have a terrible year, then it's either going to be because all the fans and all the drama that comes with them being on the road and at home, and it's also going to be because, well, maybe they were cheating and they're not cheating now, and you're actually seeing the kind of player they really are.
Well, see, that's the thing. This year, I think more than ever, fans have to hope the Astros suck, because if the Astros come out and are still really good, and all these players still have great years, they're just going to say a big, F you to everybody. We told you we're good.
And like what the Patriots did.
And then everyone's going to look stupid, not stupid, but everyone's going to be kind of shut up. And I don't want that.
I don't want that either. I want them to be.
I think everyone has to pray that the Astros are terrible.
Yeah, no, because you can put it in football. When they did Tapegate.
Yeah.
For that, within 2 years, they went for that undefeated season.
Right.
And it was kind of like, okay, well, they really didn't need the tape.
The Patriots always do that. They always shut you up.
Yeah, and it's just. But
yeah, I'm hoping that the Astros aren't Patriots 2.0.
Lost again.
which means I'm probably going to lose you in a second. But with that said, when I'll talk till they come back. Sorry, I apologize to all our viewers that are watching this or listening to this and having Brad and Tino cut out. But we're having some technical difficulties, and they're back. They're back. So here we are.
Yeah, we just keep going.
Well, we talk.
Yeah, we talk.
That's what I do. I keep talking and apologize to our viewer that we're cutting in and out.
I mean, we never have problems on YouTube, so it's got to be something with the site.
It's got to be the site. We'll try something else. But go ahead.
That the MLB's probably like, well, we're gonna at least have some viewers for the first month or so to watch the Astros games. So they're probably like, we'll take that. They want to, because like you said, the Thursday game, I'm definitely gonna watch it because I want to see what happens. It's just like, are they gonna go after them, or because it's just. Mm-hmm. To me, if I was a pitcher on any team, because they don't play every team every year, right? It's kind of like a split schedule kind of thing.
Well, in the American League, they play every team.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
They'll play one division from the National League every year.
That's what I'm saying. So
it cycles through.
So that's what I'm saying. If I'm a pitcher in the AL, it's like these guys probably cheated one time with me too, and they're gonna just, and your cousin said it the best. During Super Bowl Sunday, is this, say you're a 20-year-old, nothing, AAA, you're trying to make your way up, and then you get put in against the Astros and they beat you 17. You know what I'm saying? You ruin his motivation, all that stuff, and it's like, damn, there is so much that the Astros did to the MLB.
Well, if the Astros didn't cheat, the Yankees might have won the World Series, and Joe Girardi would still be manager of the Yankees.
It's just but everyone didn't want Girardi, right? Everyone wanted him going.
Yeah, but I'm saying you win a World Series, you're not getting fired.
No, true. But it's crazy that like I said, if I was a pitcher in the AL, they would get my best game, but the pitches would be very close, as inside as possible, without hitting them.
The big beaner.
Yeah.
My beaner.
I'm just like, that's my thoughts. Is like, if I was an AL pitcher, that the umps are going to be like, they deserved it, fucking cheaters. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so I don't know. I just think that there is something good. There's something good coming out of it because the MLB is like, well, at least we'll get some viewers.
That's true. And so with that said, do either of you feel like any different about the Astros after today? Do you feel like?
I mean, I think a lot today was scripted. They were told by lawyers they could say, and it's what it is. We're never gonna find the real truth.
No. Well, the only person that give us the real truth would be the manager and the GM that got let go, but they won't do it because there's possibly a chance for them to come back into the league. And then when it comes to like Altuve and those guys, they'll never say anything.
They just got the scroll on the bottom. Very nice.
I figured something out.
Oh, nice. That looks good.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying is that, it's listen, everyone's been getting a second chance lately, so this is their second chance. It's just like I don't know. It's hard to gauge.
So let's pivot a little bit here, because the other thing that came out this week is Major League Baseball released a proposal for possible rule changes by, was it 2022, Brad?
2022 is the year they wanted the
yeah. And they want to change the whole playoff structure of Major League Baseball. Now, right now, there's 3 divisions in each league and 2 wildcard winners. 2 wildcard winners face off in a single elimination. They end up playing the team with the best record, and then the 2 other division winners play each other, and then they go on to the World Series. What they want to do is they want to increase the number of teams per league to 7 teams, and they want to have
2 extra.
Yeah.
2 extra.
Yeah, they want to have. And do you remember all the details, Brad? Because I'm having a tough time.
So 2 wild card teams.
They want to do 2
wild card series that are best of 3s.
Yes, and then the team with the best record gets, I think the team that comes in second, they get first round byes.
Right.
And they get to select, once the wild card teams have played, they get to select their opponent.
So there should be 6 playoff teams in each league, right? Not 7.
No, it's 7. That is the one thing I do remember. It's 7.
Well, how? Because you're going to have 2
Let me see if I can find it.
wild card series, which is 4 teams, and then you're going to have the 1 and 2 seeds. That's 6 teams.
Well, what they would do probably is they would have a wild card series and a wild card walk-in. So you'd have the 2 lowest wild cards play each other to go against the one game playoff, then go to a series.
That's a lot of games.
It is.
It is. Like well, they're trying to maximize the playoffs because that's when the casual fan, Tino, and you could probably speak to this, that's when you're more likely to vote, or not to vote, to watch.
I just, as from the outside looking in, if I was a baseball player and you worked hard all year and it's one game, because everyone has one bad game. Everyone, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like I would love to see series,
Okay. So Joel Sherman of the New York Post leaked the proposal, and this is on CBS Online or CBSSports.com. The highlights are 7 teams from each league make the postseason. Teams with the best record in each league get a wild card round bye. 2 other division winners and top wild card team host all games of 3-game series in wild card round. 2 other division winners get to pick their wild card round opponents during a live broadcast from 3 other wild card teams. The top wild card team plays the unpicked team.
That's 3 openings. It's 3 series in wild card week.
The 3 series winners and team with a bye advance to divisional round. So really, the team with best record gets the bye.
Yeah, that's besides NFL or NHL and MLB.
And then the number 2 seed picks their opponent in the wild card round.
The dumbest part about this.
Why would
and then the other team picks their other opponent.
They want to do like a selection show. They want to do a live TV show where they reveal like the brackets. Like this team chose this team.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what you're going to hear every year? You're going to hear that team that got chosen say, "Oh, they want us. They're going to come get us." We're not scared. And after they beat them, we told you not to pick us. We told you. I don't want to hear that every year.
Yeah. No, that would be.
They're trying to
champagne celebration for getting picked.
It's like, that's the one thing I hate about baseball. Like you don't need to have a champagne celebration after every round of the
playoffs. No, you should do it when you go to the World Series and when you win the World Series.
I think when you win the division, like.
And when you win the division during the season.
Yeah, you play 162 games, you win your division, celebrate. But then after that, it shouldn't be until I think you go to the World Series.
Yeah, until you get to the big time.
Well, you get a trophy for winning the pennant, so you should celebrate them too.
I guess. I don't know.
It's just make it like hockey where you don't touch the trophy until.
Yeah, right. Yeah. These guys go nuts about that.
No, not the Penguins. Penguins have touched it every time, and every time they've touched it, they've won.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
but
matter.
Right now, the team that wins the wild card game, champagne celebration. Then the division round, champagne celebration. Then
that's MLB trying to keep it's so funny because I was watching one and I looked at the goggles and I said, "Does it say New Era on those?"
Oh, they're all sponsored goggles.
Yeah.
It's like New Era took advantage of that.
Yeah. So this is Major League Baseball's attempt to expand the game to the casual viewer. Yeah. They're always go ahead.
Video.
I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that he pretty much calls out Manfred and Major League Baseball. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: that's what's great about Trevor Bauer is he's not afraid to speak his mind.
He's smart.
But it would be nice to have other players do that as well, but maybe not on the same level. Like he's stark contrast to what Major League Baseball is trying to do. It'd be nice to just have other players kind of speak their mind and say, "Oh yeah, I kind of like this." And since the cheating scandal, you're starting to see that more and more. If you go on Twitter, a lot of these players are tweeting their opinions about the cheating scandal and now the rules thing or the playoffs thing. So it's nice to kind of see the players interact and share their thoughts, and that's good for the game. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to cater to the casual fan to get them into watching games during the season or building up to the playoffs and going into the playoffs, which is great. That's fine. They already have the diehard fans. They already have you and me, Brad. We're going to watch regardless of what the playoff structure is. It's just because we love baseball that much. Tino, on the other hand, you said you only watch a game or two here or there during the season, and then when the playoffs come around, and then you watch the playoffs, and that's when the most exciting baseball to the casual fan is played. So they're trying to get more playoffs to maximize their revenue, which I guess I get it, but it doesn't
make sense. I mean, I don't like it, but it does make sense. It checks all the boxes. More revenue, more playoff time is more exciting. More teams getting in, which means less teams tanking. Like the best example is last year with this new playoff format, the Diamondbacks would have made the playoffs, so they're not trading Zach Greinke to the Astros.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest pluses. They want less teams tanking and more teams going for it because you can make the playoffs now a game or two above 500. And they say it's and another check mark that checks off is smaller market teams have a better chance because, like, face it, in the AL East, even the Orioles are put in small markets now. You got the Orioles, Rays, and Blue Jays. They really, other than the Rays, have very good management, so they actually do play well. Most teams in the AL East just get buried. You're not gonna be able to outspend or outclass the Red Sox and Yankees. So they have no choice. They have no chance. This new playoff structure will give those teams a chance.
And the thing is they're gonna adopt the system, and we'll watch it one season. We'll be like, okay, it is what it is now. There's no changing it.
Yeah.
It sucks because that's kind of how whenever Major League Baseball releases things like this, there's always a huge uproar by the diehard fans. Oh, why are you gonna change everything? Why are you doing this? I'm guilty of this. I'm sure you could probably say you felt the same way, that this is stupid, this is dumb. But then they're going to put it in, and like this year, they're going to have the 3 batter rule, and I think there's another rule that they're putting in this year. And it sucks because it shouldn't be a part of the game, but it is, and it's this huge effort to speed up the game.
Yeah.
Everybody, the casual fan doesn't want to watch a 3-hour game.
Yeah.
It's not. People say that, but it's really not about the length of the game. It's about the time of action. We don't want to watch 15 foul balls and a bat and have the pitcher huff it and take deep breaths and 3-4 times, then looking for the sign and then pitch. It's not about the time of the game. We'll watch a 4-hour NFL game.
Hell yeah.
It's just about the time of action.
And there's just as little action sometimes in an NFL game as a Major League Baseball game. Plays are split second. They're only a few seconds long, and you have like a minute or 2 or 30 seconds or 45 seconds between a play, and then you have the next one. Now they're closer together, and if you have a baseball game where you got a guy walking 3 straight batters, or he's all over the place, or you get no action, no like runs scored or anything like that. It's not as exciting. Well, a football game that's nothing going into halftime isn't really that exciting, even with good defense.
Every play something's happening, where in baseball most of the downtime is just watching a batter fix his batting gloves and take practice and watching a pitcher take. Right,
but if you're watching a baseball game at this point in your life, you understand that that's part of the game. That the problem is getting these kids that are 0 to 15 years old interested in the game. Well, the only way you're going to get these kids interested in the game is by getting them to play the game. And showing them how fun it is to play the game. They're not going to be able to sit and watch a 3-hour game. Most of these kids have homework to do at night, or they have things they need. It would be better for them to be outside and playing. Like when you and I, when we were kids, we were probably outside all the time doing stuff.
When we were kids, who was the biggest player that kids like to emulate? Ken Griffey Jr.
And Jeter.
Went out there. He wore the backwards hat. He had that swag on the field. He was in movies. He was in commercials. And that's what we all pretended we were him and playing home run derby. And that's what baseball is missing, because they still don't let the players express themselves, and they're so bad at marketing players, which is what
they really are.
When you watch Trevor Bauer's video, that's basically what he goes off on, is how bad MLB markets the players.
And it's true. It's sad, but it's true. And they need to do a better job. They need to make baseball fun. They need to let the players show their personality. 2 years ago, if you asked me that, I probably would have been like, forget it. No, stick to wearing the cleats that Major League Baseball told you to wear. But after Players Weekend, and they get to use the different bats, things like that are interesting to kids. If you can customize your stuff and you can do certain things and you can let your personality show, because you can do it in a lot of other sports. Why can't you do it in baseball? Who cares? They still play the game. They still pitch the ball. You still hit the ball. You still catch the ball. What's the big deal?
Even the NFL, they don't let you wear whatever cleats you want. You can't even see the cleats on TV.
Who cares? The cleats are this big on TV. And maybe if they score a touchdown, you see them, but they usually show the players from like the knees up when they're doing their games. You don't see their feet. Yeah, you don't even see their feet. Who cares?
The other thing, too, I was going to say when we were talking about the playoff thing is that I think that the worst thing is that one playoff for the wild card. Because what if the better team has a bad day? You know what I'm saying? And it happens, and it didn't happen to the Yankees against wasn't it the Rangers that won where it was a play-in game?
Now, whenever the Yankees lost wild game, they weren't the better team.
Well, last year was the A's and Rays. The A's had home field advantage and had the better record, and the Rays ended up winning. But
the Yankees in Yankee Stadium in a wild card game too.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But still,
that might have been it. No, I just remember either somebody beating the Yankees
this past year.
That one playoff game. I thought it was like Minnesota, maybe.
This past year, the Nationals should have lost the wild card game.
Yeah, Nationals were the wild card winner, and they ended up winning the World Series.
How many they were down in the 8th inning? They were down 2 or 3, weren't they?
Something like that, and they rallied back.
They rallied
a couple
back.
times.
Right fielder for the Braves had a ball right through his legs, went all the way to the wall.
Oh.
Now was it the Braves they were playing? No, who were they playing?
I think they were playing the Braves.
No. There was the
Was it the Cubs? The Brewers. Yes.
They went through his legs and all the way to the wall. Nationals ended up winning the game and they went on to win a World Series, but they could have very easily lost that one game.
Quick side note: is that guy still on the Brewers? That was like that monster hitter, and then
I think he erased his name and fled the country. I don't know.
What the hell was it, Braun?
Oh, Braun's still around.
Braun's still around.
He said this might be his last season.
I just remember how good he was, and it was the Brewers.
And how many steroids he took?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's always it's just like Mauer, stuff like that. It's like they had those couple years where like they were the greatest, and it's like, oh shit, that's right, he's still on the team.
Mauer could have been an all-time great, not for injuries.
He could have, yeah. Well, catchers, that's the problem with catchers. But I was listening to John Boy this morning, and he had an interesting idea, and I know I keep giving him a lot of press.
Yeah, man. He's the man, John Boy, man.
He's the man.
I mean, it's interesting because he has a lot of good takes on this stuff, and he does make a good point. For the wild card game, it's interesting. He suggested an alternative to the best of 3 series. He said the higher seed, in this case, we'll use the Rays and the A's last year. The A's had home field advantage. You do it where all the higher seed has to do is win 1 game. That's all they have to do. So if the A's win, they move on. The Rays have to win 2 games because they're the lower seed. So it could be a 2-game series or a one game.
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? So it gives that team that maybe had a bad, like the higher seed that has that off day, it gives them the chance to defend themselves and come back the next day and have a Game 7 mentality.
I have a better solution. So, the local hockey team at Union College, they're in the ECAC. That's their league.
Yeah.
Everyone in the league makes the playoffs in ECAC, and the way to do it is the higher seeds get home ice, and they get all 3 games in the series are at home.
And the top 4 gets a bye.
Yeah. But I'm suggesting for the wild card, make it a 3-game series. Have the higher seed gets home field each game, so you don't have to do any travel days. It's all in one city. Mm-hmm. Do a double header, 1 game, and if it goes to a game 3, you do that the very next day. The last 2 days.
Double headers are fun. Well, who doesn't like a full day of baseball? Now, when I first started, it was Yankee Chatter I like that idea. That's a good idea. And when I first started, the Yankee Chatter was originally called the Pinstripe Chronicle, and we actually used to write articles, but print is dead. But I actually wrote a whole article on restructuring the MLB playoffs and having a tournament-style play where every team makes the playoffs. It's double elimination, and you fight to the end. You do shorten the season, and you have like a month-long tournament. That way, every team gets playoff revenue. Every team tries to either balance out their players, and they have something worth fighting for because they make the tournament. Everybody has a chance, and also, you could have like the first round be at a neutral site. Like, how when they do college football, rivalry week. Oh, well, if you have college, I can still hear you guys. But if, college football, they have rivalry, and they play the game at a neutral territory. You do that, and you pick, 1 year it's here. Well, next year it's here. It's kind of like a rotating system, like the Super Bowl. So then all these stadiums that typically wouldn't make the playoffs or run deep into the playoffs, they get a little playoff revenue, and then they can reinvest that money into the team. So it's a system that kind of benefits everyone. I know it's not flashy, and those teams that are always the favorites that play the season and run away with the division.
Does it benefit the home? Well, the higher seats it would be home. Their owners would never agree to that because they lose a lot of money.
Well, yeah, but that's why they win, right? They win and they move to the next round, and then the series are at the home team, and then you can do what you said, and then do and then like the next round's a best of 3, and do what you said, and have the home team, the better seed, have home field advantage throughout, and play all 3 games there if necessary, and then you move on to like the division type series, and that's like a best of 5 or best of 7 or whatever, and then the teams that make it farther into the playoffs, into the tournament, they're the teams that play more games at home. Think about it. You play 2 or 3 playoff series at home. Even if you get eliminated in the last or second to last round, you're still bringing a ton of money for hosting playoff games.
Yeah.
It's almost like they should do it the way the XFL does it, where the owner owns every team. It could never work out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, each team is assigned a coach and a GM, and it's kind of the same thing, but
it's called communism.
Well, probably would. I mean, I get what Greg's saying though too. It's like you could, and the one thing everybody loves is a Cinderella. You might get one team that just hits fire and just starts. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah. But then you wonder, well, why play this season or why play a long season? Well, the season determines like basketball. When you go into March Madness, the season and how you play in the season determines your seeding.
Yeah.
So you want to do well in the season. You want to get the higher seeds because you might get a first round bye depending on how the bracket works out. You will get home field advantage, and you're establishing yourself as the better team. So I know it's a lot of work, a lot of ins and outs and nooks and crannies, and but there's definitely different and better scenarios to get if you're trying to get more teams involved and trying not to water down the competition. There are better alternatives than to what they proposed.
I think one of our solutions are better than what's happening at least now.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
I don't know why, but I hate that one game thing because they play so many games during the season. It's like
they did it to play because what was happening was there was one wild card team.
No, I remember that.
And if you knew you were going to be a wild card team, you had no chance of winning division. You would be fine with that and just start resting guys.
Yeah.
They didn't want that. They wanted you to want to win the division.
Gotcha.
That's what
they want meaningful games throughout the entire season for as many teams as possible. So that's what they attempted to do with the wild card game. And I think that's what they're trying to expand on with this system. However, I don't know. I need to see more of the ins and outs of it before I can buy into it.
I don't mind more teams making the playoffs. I don't care.
Me neither.
If you say, all right, so a 500 team makes the playoffs and wins, I don't care. So what? They still have to win 15, 16 games in the system to win the World Series. So
they earned it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind getting more teams. And the only part I don't like is the picking your.
Yeah, they're trying to make it this whole reality TV thing, and like the selection show, and I mean I get it. You're again trying to cater to the casual fan, but why does it have to be? Why does everything have to be a spectacle? You can make things fun and interesting without it being a huge spectacle.
Every sport does is to get more viewers. I mean, NASCAR does the chase now, and they have a whole playoff system. And
yeah, baby, Daytona 500 this Sunday. Hell yeah! Can't wait.
It is. I mean, the NHL did a completely reconfiguration not too long ago.
Yeah,
because things were for sale. So.
But I like how the NHL does it.
I'm not a big fan. Just the two conferences and just everyone's in one forward division. It's just I don't know.
The only thing that bugged people, I think, was that one division always had like a shit team winning it. And they would be a high seed.
Yeah.
And you would have somebody who's got 30 or 40 points more than, like, when it was the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know what I'm saying? Or the Hurricanes. When the Hurricanes made it, they had, like, 89 points. And the 4 seed had, like, 115.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just – but I understand what they're doing. But you know why they did that. They did that to put Crosby and Ovechkin in the same division.
I'm sure it had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that had a lot to do with it.
Probably.
That's not a bad.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just the thing.
No, it's good for the game. It's just the casual fan also might get sick of seeing Crosby and Ovechkin all the time.
Well, the thing is too is that the way they've done it since the beginning is there's no way that they would ever meet in the conference finals with either standings.
Which you don't want. I don't know why they wouldn't want that.
Yeah, that's the one they probably would want. But the problem is the Capitals can only make it once every 14 years. Hey-o!
And now the casual fans see how much better Ovechkin is than Crosby. So
fuck off.
Yeah. Oh. So shifting back to baseball, the other thing that, I think they should try to do is you try to get your team exposed and your market exposed to other teams in the league. Like right now, it's an unbalanced schedule, and the Yankees play the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Rays, and the Orioles 19 times a piece. I'm sorry, I get sick of watching the Orioles after a while and the Blue Jays after a while. I love the thing I love about interleague play is that I get to see the Yankees play the Dodgers occasionally and the Cubs and these teams that they don't normally get to play. And they get to go to their ballparks, and it's good for those teams because the Yankees always draw a crowd, and it's interesting. And I just wish that instead of going to Cleveland once a year and having the Indians come to New York once a year, they should play them 2 or 3 times. It should be more evenly dispersed.
Right now, the Yankees play. They go to Houston in like July or something, but then Houston doesn't come to the Yankee Stadium until September. Right? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Regardless of what the Astros are doing, it's still 2 of the best teams in the league, and you're only having to play 6 games a year.
Yeah, that's bad for baseball. You want to see the Yankees. Now, the great thing about the division rivalry is you get to see the Yankees play the Red Sox all the time. And when Boston's good, that's good for baseball. When Boston and the Yankees are good, that's good for baseball.
It's a small example,
But that's one. Yeah, that's the thing is people who aren't Yankees and Red Sox fans get sick of seeing the Yankees and Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball. I get sick of that because of the commentators, but that's a whole different conversation.
I'd rather see the Yankees play. I want to play the White Sox more. I want to play the Twins more. I want to play the Tigers. I feel like we barely see the Central and West divisions.
No, and then when you get to the playoffs and you get matched up with a division rival, well, now you know who they're going to pitch. You know their tendencies. You're familiar with them. But you play a team from a different division, like the Yankees played the Twins last season. Now they're comfortable with the Twins because they always seem to beat them. But say they faced a different team from that division, like the Tigers or the Royals, or in this case, it could very well be the White Sox this season. They reloaded. And it's like, well, I'm watching this White Sox team as a Yankee fan. I don't know really much about them. I only see them for 6, maybe 7 games a year. I want to see them more. And if they're good, I want my good team to play that good team more often. It's better for baseball when the good teams play each other more often.
You said we're tired of seeing the Orioles play.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that they would be against like just removing the divisions and it's just the whole thing, and you take the top 7?
Well, that's what people are suggesting out of this new playoffs. Why don't they just do that?
Yeah, it's just like the top 7 get in, and it's almost like you have to have an equal amount of. What is it, 12 teams apiece or 16?
In each league?
No, I'm saying in each division. There's 3 divisions, right? For the AL and the NL?
Yeah, so it's 5 teams in the division?
Yeah, right now 5.
So you would, 15 teams. So you would play 14 teams, maybe twice, 3 games. So you know what I'm saying? And then start working on the NL too. Like, I've always liked the way that the hockey did it where you play every team at least once. There's never You're never not knowing what this team can do.
Plus, the switching to a conference setup with no divisions is that you set yourself up in a better position for expansion. Because right now you have 5 teams per division right now. So either if you add a team per league, which they're talking about doing in the next couple years as expanding baseball, where do you put them? And then you're going to have to reconfigure the divisions. 16 teams, so that's 4 teams.
What's the one division that is 6 teams? Is it the MLB?
It's not. I think isn't it 15? I think it's 15 apiece now. So it's 5. It used to be the American League had 14 teams. The National League had 16 teams.
For some reason,
and that's when the Astros moved back to the American League.
Right.
Yeah, because there's only 30 teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 15 aside. So you're gonna if you add teams, you're gonna have to reconfigure the divisions, which is gonna mean if you're gonna have the uneven schedule, the unbalanced schedule, you're gonna see 3 teams way more than the rest of the league, which is again dumb. So you have no divisions, straight conference. You don't have to worry about adding an expansion team and say, oh well, they're on the East Coast, so they have to be in the Eastern Division, or they're on the West Coast, they're gonna get stuck with the Western Division, and then you're gonna move a team in the Western Division to a different division. It's so much easier.
Where are they talking about expanding? What, Vegas probably?
Vegas is I think last time I looked,
they have football and hockey there now. So.
There were 5 potential locations. This is when Orlando tried to say they're in the running for.
Oh God, no!
Now, I would love having a Major League Baseball team in Orlando because I live in Orlando. I work in downtown Orlando.
Yeah.
I could go to see players like Mike Trout and the Yankees and stuff like that probably for really cheap. But it won't survive. But I think the locations that they were talking about were Vegas was one, Charlotte,
yeah, I was going to suggest
Portland, I think was another one, Portland, Oregon, Montreal, and I think Vancouver was the other location.
Bring back the Expos.
People want Montreal back. Yeah.
Well, so this year the Rays are playing half their games in Tampa and half their home games in Montreal. That's actually happening.
What's going on there?
So Tampa Bay Rays get no fans.
Yeah, no.
So the owner made an agreement this year. So half their home games are going to be in Tampa. The other half of their home games are going to be in Montreal.
Yeah. Can they wear the Expos jerseys? They should.
They should. I don't think they are, but they should. But I have so many issues with that to begin with. One,
you don't like it?
I think it's great that they're trying to get Montreal back into the major leagues. However, I think for the Rays splitting time, especially with a team as good as the Rays, I hate the Rays. One of my least. I hate them almost as much as the Astros and the Red Sox. But for baseball, from a baseball standpoint, you have all these fans in Tampa. Well, now you're going to take them, and they're going to play their first half of their season in Tampa and the second half of their season in Montreal. What if they're competing for a wild card spot or the division? You're displacing all these fans down here in Tampa. They either have to fly up to Montreal to watch their team compete for these high leverage games, and then what if they make the playoffs? I'm assuming they would have home games down here in Tampa because that's where they're technically based out of. But what if not? What if they play better in Montreal? What if they win more games in Montreal than they do here in Tampa?
Yeah, so
are you gonna get to choose which one?
They only sold low level seats.
Yeah, no.
Yes, they closed off the upper deck entirely in Tampa.
Did they
last year
when they were in the World Series?
I think so.
Well, they were World Series. I'm sure people went then.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, if that's you got to know something if you can't sell in a fucking World Series game.
The stadium's also a dump.
It is.
I've been there I think 4 or 5 times, and it's the worst. So when you sit in your seat, you know how at Yankee Stadium, doesn't matter where you're sitting, you're at least facing home plate. So you sit down the first baseline, and you're facing center field. You have to turn your body the whole game to watch a pitch come in.
I never even thought of something.
And then they have these catwalks around the top because for them to support the dome, they have these rings which are then suspended on tension cables.
Yeah.
I'm going architect on you here. And then the dome sits on top of it. Well, these catwalks are in play.
Yeah,
and like a handful of times throughout the year, there is a batted ball that hits the catwalk. And when the ball hits it, the ball's still in play. It's not like a ground rule double or a foul ball or an out.
That's baseball. If you catch it off a catwalk, they're out.
Oh.
Which is dumb because how is it any different than catching a ball that ricochets off the wall?
Yeah.
So actually, it happened for the Yankees. Clinton Frazier actually was either in the 9th inning or extra innings. He could have won the game with a home run. He crushed it.
But it hit
the catwalk, and the shortstop caught it. He was out.
Yeah, he was like 30 feet out of the infield and caught this like a lazy fly ball. If you watched it and you see the highlight, the way it comes off the bat in any other ballpark, that ball's gone. Yeah, he crushed it. So.
I mean,
we got way off topic once again.
Yeah, but
I know. Well, no. See, these are things that we haven't talked about in the past that have come up recently. So
realize, you know what I'm saying? Because by the end of the year, I'll be a baseball fucking fanatic.
Yeah, expert over here. You're always telling us some things.
Well, Tino, I appreciate that you actually came home today and you watched the Jim Crane interview and the Astros press conference. I'm sure that helped you put things in perspective a little bit.
My wife she's like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's the Astros cheating thing." She goes, "Who the guy is that talking? He's a moron." I was like, "He actually owns a team."
I mean, something like this, if you don't like baseball, it's a huge sports story.
Oh, I
mean,
it's the biggest scandal since the Black Sox.
Yeah,
I got banned for life.
It's crazy because it's so bad for baseball, but at the same time, it's good for baseball because it's getting people that don't follow baseball. Like right now, usually it's the diehard fans that are getting back into baseball because spring training started.
Right.
Well, now you're getting all these casual fans that are like, cheating? Drama? What?
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I don't understand all these writers saying this is a black eye for baseball. It's a sad day for baseball. I don't know. That's pretty exciting to me.
Yeah,
it is, but it isn't, because now it's getting all this attention. Instead of like the Super Bowl, more people were focused on the cheating scandal, I think, just because I don't follow football like you guys do. But people are more interested in what's going on with the Astros and the cheating scandal than the two teams that were in the Super Bowl. That was a good Super Bowl to watch, but
the Super Bowl really have marketable teams this year, unfortunately.
But yeah, so this to people who feed off of social media and drama and reality TV. This is as reality TV as baseball is going to get. So you're bringing in all these people now. People who don't typically follow baseball, like you, Tino, are learning things about the sport that you didn't realize were there before.
I just still can't believe they can't chew tobacco. I mean, that's part of baseball.
I'm pretty sure there are still players that did.
I know. I used to watch when we were watching when we used to at Brad's old house. I will always remember Pedroia, and they were showing him, and then he moved his lips, and there was a big.
Oh yeah.
But they got
Pedroia
away
always
with
had
it. But it's guys,
remember Gary Sheffield?
that's baseball. It's what. It's honestly something to keep you occupied while you're just waiting there.
And I think they made them, if you're gonna dip in the dugout, they made you wrap it in gum.
Yeah, no. And Leland
was the guy's name Little Big League?
Oh God,
the reliever.
Remember?
I have to look at it.
Wraps it around this thing.
It really doesn't work.
20 times.
Anthony tried that. That really don't work. It's not very good.
I'm gonna look that up.
And what's his name there? Leland. He used to smoke in the dugout.
Oh my God! Yeah.
You know, I bet.
Is that guy smoking on the field?
Yeah, right.
Well, I think whenever you see a guy come to the dugout and immediately go into a tunnel, he's either going to the bathroom or he's going to have a smoke.
Yeah, because it's unfortunate, but a lot of the coaches and stuff, they either chew or smoke, because that's just the way it was back then.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh sometimes because I don't know who the recent one was, but they caught a triple smoking a cigarette. And it's he's a pitcher. He doesn't really need stamina. It's just, it's okay, if he's a sprinter and he's smoking, we got a problem. But he's just
got to retire. He's still 156 pitches.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
I was talking.
Greg is on Twitter all the time, just begging Disney to put Angels in the Outfield on Disney Plus.
I can't believe it's not. Don't even get me started, because you can't even buy it on iTunes. That's
you buy it on
baseball movies ever.
That's where I buy it. My stuff is on YouTube because I finally watched Deadpool. Great movie.
I still have to see Deadpool too.
I know, but it's really expensive. It was $7.99. But yeah, Angels in the Outfield. It's got to be on YouTube because it's just the same. Deadpool
I know. I like to buy my movies on iTunes, and I just, you would think it would be on there. But even with Disney Plus, you would think Disney Plus would put that movie. I mean, what's not to like about it? You got Christopher Lloyd, Tony Danza, Danny Glover, young Jonathan or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What's not to like? Matthew McConaughey's in it.
How to do that?
What's the other guy? Adrian Brody's in it. What's not to like?
There's a lot of great stars.
It's funny if you look back at Matthew McConaughey's career until he finally, I don't know what movie it was, but he was in some fucking shit movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, and it's just whoa. But no, that's weird that they wouldn't have Angels in the Outfield on Disney Plus. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that maybe when baseball season starts, they'll put the rookie and.
Yeah, but it should be everything. It should have everything on there. Everything.
It should be.
Yeah,
it should be.
There would be.
Well, don't even get me started on Disney Plus, because they didn't really plan very well after they put The Mandalorian out. Is that you had all these people watching that Star Wars show, and then that ended, and they didn't have anything ready to go after. So now, I since The Mandalorian ended, I haven't opened Disney Plus. Now you have a kid, Brad, so I'm sure you're on it all the time. But
I watch Disney Plus all the time.
Every time I come into the house, he's watching Lion King or Frozen, and I've never seen Frozen. It's I've almost all seen the whole fucking thing.
Oh.
Despite
have you seen Frozen 2 yet? It's really good. Amanda loves it.
And I thought about you, Greg, because I remember when Frozen came out, you had a bunch of criticisms about it. One of your big criticism was they never explained you how she got her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you know why, Greg. Maybe you should have a little patience next time.
Well, who would have thought they were going to release a sequel, Brad?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's too many unquestioning. It's a Disney movie.
Yeah, but all the other Disney movies, they explain everything.
Yeah, well, they don't explain how animals talk, okay?
Yeah, I was about to say, animals don't talk in real life, right?
Well, maybe they do.
Knows how, yeah. I don't get started.
Oh, come on. Let's do this, Brad. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, how Mr. Ed talked during live TV. Peanut butter. What was it? Peanut butter.
That's true.
It was always licking the top of his mouth. Yeah.
I think it's a good time to cut this off.
Yeah, we're gonna start down a bad.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna start talking about TV shows like The Office.
Hey, if we
could talk about
this stuff, we're gonna have something like that. We gotta talk about that stuff. Is gold.
So another thing that I started listening to, I've been really diving into podcasts lately because I can only listen to so much music at work until I'm starting to listen to the same things over and over again.
I guess like that, man. Just pop on that MLB radio all day.
I would love that. But I've been listening to podcasts, and that's why I've been listening to John Boy and some of these other Yankees and baseball podcasts. I've also been listening to, there's a podcast out there called The Office Ladies.
Yeah.
And I posted about it the other day on Facebook, and it's Jenna Fisher and Angela Martin, who played Pam and Angela in the TV show, and they go episode by episode, and they break down the entire episode. Sometimes they'll have guest speakers on, like the other day they had Rainn Wilson, who plays Dwight, on there, and Creed on there, and they just talk about the episode and like what things were improv and what things were scripted and how they filmed certain things and where these scenes were filmed and stuff like that. It's amazing. I love it. It's fantastic. Now they talk about other stuff too, but anyway, sorry to plug a different podcast than our podcast, but
well, you plug John Boy every goddamn time, so.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe if we plug him enough that he'll plug us. He's going to be down here.
He stole your screenshot last year.
Yeah, I called him out on it. He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Stole your screenshot?
Yeah, I took a screenshot of.
Right called on the Yankees. It was a really low pitch. So Greg took a screenshot and shared it on Twitter, and then a minute later, John Boy had it on his page.
Exact same screenshot.
If you go to a Yankees game this year, make a sign that said John Boy stole my screenshot. I guarantee you, someone will come and talk to you.
Well, so Ryan's coming down to visit in a couple of weeks, and we're going to go to a Yankees-Orioles spring training game. It's a night game. So I'm hoping maybe some of these other Yankee podcasters are there, and we can bump into them, and I'll try and film some live stuff, and maybe get us some more credibility and extra followers.
Yeah, pick the brains of what they do and
well, we should get T-shirts made, right? We should get a T-shirt made, and I can wear it while we're there.
Hey, we've been talking about doing the Life of Bigger Bradder show. We still have it.
5XLT.
And any of you viewers out there, if you happen to be watching, none of you are now, but when this is posted to YouTube later, would you ever wear or buy a Bigger Bradder Sports Show T-shirt or Yankee Chatter T-shirt?
The big thing that you've got to put some money into it, and every time your show is there on and they click the thing, there will be a line of your merchandise. Yeah. They could just right there, if they like the shirt, they buy it right there.
Mm-hmm. And that'd be great. That'd be a good way to get it.
Not that
because I really am proud of our branding for Yankee Chatter, the logo and stuff like that. I think I did a pretty good job. I think if we did a T-shirt like that, it looked pretty cool. I don't know.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, no, like I said,
you design it on custom ink. I'll send you the money.
You got it.
Right.
Custom ink.
All right. So, with that said,
tattoos next. You gotta get tattoos.
In time.
It's okay.
We'll get there. Let's get more than 15 followers on YouTube.
And get the 56 steak on here
though. So that means we gotta do it then.
I am. Nick thought it was. Nick was joking about it. I'm like, no, I really am.
Dude, I'm gonna put it on my back then. I'm not, because he's such a bitch. Nick, if you're watching, you're a bitch.
He's been talking about getting a tattoo for like 10 years now.
He's not
gonna get one.
No, he won't get one. I am. I mean, I was saying, dude, yeah, 56 for sure.
He's like, oh, I talked to some guy, a customer. He's an artist. He can draw something up. I'm like, dude, just go to the tattoo shop. They'll draw something up for you.
Get a sign and a stick. 56. What's so hard about that?
All right. On that note, we just hit an hour. So for those of you who did tune in live, thank you for tuning in. For those of you who will be watching this or listening to this later on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or YouTube, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we entertained you a little bit about the cheating scandal, about the new playoff format, and even about us being morons talking about Disney Plus and tattoos and all that stuff afterwards. We like to have fun. We have a good time. But thanks again for joining us. My name is Greg Andriano. If you see the ticker at the bottom, you can find me on Twitter at GregAndriano05 on behalf of Yankee Chatter. Brad also is part of Yankee Chatter. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Brad? And we can.
Why?
Because you're in the middle. You're on the screen. You're in the middle. You're the center of attention.
Well,
he has great thighs.
My name is Brad. Scorpio, born in 1986. And we're from up north.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool out right now. My draw is basically an ice rink.
No, it's not that bad.
Okay, well, glad you didn't fall.
It's probably because I'm almost 400 pounds that I just went through the ice when I walked.
Yeah, well, that helps sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yep. Brad or Chatter 1.
I'm at Big Tuna BBS, and on Instagram you can follow us at Bigger and Bradder Sports.
He's got it.
One word.
He gets it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're all one big team here. So subscribe to them, subscribe to us, join in the conversation. Let's have a good time. We love talking about sports, and we're here for you. So.
And once it gets warmer out, we're doing Naked Thursdays.
We're not doing Naked Thursdays.
Yeah, I'm going to skip Naked Thursdays.
That will be moving this out of my house.
All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you next week.
Be easy. They really don't have Angels in the outfield on there?